YouTube, what is up? It's your boy Jason from the Lock Talk, and we're back for another NBA video game day breakdown for March 10th, 2025. Hey man, if you want to see me keep on coming up here and dropping these gems, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment for that YouTube algorithm. It only pushes me to come up here and keep on breaking down these games and giving you some winners, man. Look, yesterday we came off an amazing day, man. I'm going to show you guys right now. I just posted this. We cashed out yesterday, a 3-0 day, man. I had so many guys cash out with me. We had two props. Zach Edey over 8.5 rebounds. And then Kyle Filipowski over 14.5 points. Absolutely smoked it, man. And then I also want to show you this. We absolutely killed UFC as well. With the biggest play we had was Magomed Ankalaev moneyline, bro. Not too many people were betting him moneyline. I personally had 12.50 on this. You see, I bet this later. I actually thought he was going to stay a favorite, gold become a favorite. So I bet this early in the week. I got my minus 103. But nonetheless, man, we had a lot of guys that absolutely cashed out with us. And yeah, man, it's been a great week. Another winning week, another winning weekend. So if you do want to tap in and join me, go to that pinned comment down below. We have a big discount to start our week. We have a huge week coming up for Money Making Mondays, man. The best way to start is to join me on my winnable Money Making Mondays. I always do the biggest promo for the start of the week, and you can take a look. Last night, Zach Edey, Kyle Filipowski, and then of course the first half with the Sacramento Kings plus 3.5. So if you are interested, use this code. I'll put the link down below. Get 45% off the week. We only have 25 slots. I literally just posted this. So slots will be taken. And we're going to go crush another week, man. So you want some more winners just like that? I'm in a focus zone. My mood, my vibe has been amazing. My birthday was last Wednesday. March is always a crazy month for me because we have NBA, NCAA, but also, of course, big UFC events. So let's get straight into the picks, man. I'm going to talk about the games for the NBA. Not a super huge slate, but, you know, I like that, man. I don't want these massive 15-game, whatever game slates. I like slates that are a little bit medium-sized, or even the small ones. I think you could be more focused in. So let's talk about the first game on the board I do see is the Utah Jazz against the Boston Celtics. And I'll be honest, man, I'm going to kind of skip this game. There's not too much to talk about because the Utah Jazz have almost everyone as a game time decision. And when I say everyone, last night's lineup was all the bench players. Now it looks like possibly Sexton and Collins and Kessler could all play. But, I mean, it's been time and time again where they list these guys, but then they don't even play. Even on this side as well, they're all listed as game time decisions. I mean, the Celtics, even if they don't play all their starters, I mean, they can still beat this team. This is a big spread, man. 17.5 points is pretty crazy. Looks like the money's kind of even. I mean, I do think if the Utah Jazz had all their starters playing, every single one, they could possibly cover this number. But if not, I mean, I can definitely see a scenario where the Boston Celtics blow them out. However, I will say this, the Celtics definitely play to the level of their competition sometimes. Even though they have games where they should win, they don't. They have not been a good covering team at home. So you've been betting the Celtics at home at the spread. You have not been doing well this season. So I will say I'm going to skip this game. I don't really have too much interest in betting it, especially given the things I just told you. I mean, they've been pretty unreliable, to be honest, in terms of the injury reports, especially for the Utah Jazz. So I'd skip it. I mean, I'd say Celtics spread, but I'm not in love with it. And even like the over-under is very tough too because you don't know who's playing. Let's talk about another game though. Right now, the Los Angeles Lakers against the Brooklyn Nets. No LeBron James is obviously the biggest injury on the board. Luka Doncic is also a game time decision, and so is Jackson Hayes. So who knows who's playing in this game, man? I mean, it's very tough to say. Brooklyn Nets, however, looks like they're pretty good. I mean, I see on this one, Cam Thomas is not playing, neither is Watford. So that's pretty big, man. Cam Thomas has been a huge difference in this team for the Nets. I mean, their offense has stepped up, their pace has stepped up. So him being out, maybe they get back to playing a different style of offense and defense. So Lakers are 6.5-point favorites on the road. And it's tough to say if like who to back because if Luka doesn't play, I mean, the Lakers lineup is not that deep in my opinion. And the Brooklyn Nets, they've been playing pretty well, bro. I mean, take a look at their last few games. Just hear me out. I mean, even though they've been getting blown out in some of these games, but they've been covering some decent spreads. They covered against the Warriors. They did lose to the Charlotte Hornets 2 days ago, which is pretty bad. But nonetheless, I mean, if you early in games, they kind of stay with it. Their offense has been okay. But I'll be honest, I think maybe Cam Thomas being out might be a positive because he just ball hogs, chucks shots, And maybe now that he's out, Russell, Keon Johnson, Zaire Williams can really step it back up. It looks like everyone is on the Lakers. And it's tough for me to back the Lakers given the situational injuries right now, right? I mean, I don't know how you want to back the Lakers when you don't know who's playing, bro. I mean, it's very tough. I'll also say this. In terms of points allowed in the paint, kind of an area where the Lakers have really attacked the most. I mean, Brooklyn has been like not the worst team at covering the area, but I mean, they are bottom quartile in the league. But with Luka's out, LeBron's of course out, if Jackson Hayes is out, I don't know, man. I think this game could be a pick'em type game. So I honestly would lean with the Nets here, plus 6.5. But it all depends on the injury report, guys. It's very early in the morning, so I cannot confidently say who's in or out. You have to wait and see. That's kind of the danger of basketball. Sometimes, to be honest, I know some people love beating the line, but I'd rather bet midday where I have maybe more clarity and more clues into who's playing or not. But as of right now, it's not clear who's playing. So I'll roll with the Nets. I take the points, especially if the public's all over the Lakers, man. I mean, they're hot, but if they don't have all their guys, I mean, they're not that much better than some of these terrible teams, to be honest. And I'll say right here, I don't think the Lakers will go to the finals. I don't think their team's deep enough. Of course, in the playoffs, you mainly play your starters. Hey, man, I think there's too many teams that are too deep in this league, especially on the West Coast side. And all right, let's talk about the next game on the board that I do see. The Charlotte Hornets against the Miami Heat. Charlotte getting 9.5 points on the road. Miami Heat laying 9.5 points. And whatever I said time and time again, the Miami Heat are one of the most unreliable teams historically. I mean, from the past 2 years I've been doing this, on YouTube or for social media, like giving out picks. But, you know, the Heat have actually been a little bit better this year at home at covering spreads, 15-4 at home, while they are 13-20 on the roads. I mean, but this is a big spread, man. However, obviously, the Hornets are absolutely terrible. But look, man, I mean, Miami Heat, they've been covering games, bro. I mean, they didn't cover last time against, I guess, the Chicago Bulls. But before that, they're on a pretty good streak. It looks like also they'll have a few of their guys back. Looks like Khalil Ware, he's back on the lineup. See who else? Tyler Hero, Wiggins are supposed to play today. Even though it says game time decision on another sheet, I do see it looks like they're greened out. So I think they do play. On the Charlotte side, looks like Mark Williams will be starting in Nurkic. He's going to be coming off the bench. So Charlotte will also be fully healthy. Melo Ball is playing. So this will be a good game, man. The big thing is really the Heat's defense is definitely a lot better. They played at a pretty slow pace. And really, Charlotte, it's really going to come down to a few things. Like, can they get their three-point shot off? And can the Heat's defense really key in? Because they have a very good defense. The problem is, you know, they've just been so inconsistent. And they've been pretty good everywhere. They prevent shots at the rim. But that's not really an area where, I guess, the Hornets attack that much. They really just chuck threes. And, hey, look, if they have a good three-point shooting day, this game could be very close. But, I mean, they've been so inconsistent. It's really tough for me to back the Charlotte Hornets in a spot like this. So, to be honest, I always love trying to take points, trying to be contrarian. But, I don't know. I can't really back the Hornets, bro. They've been so terrible. They can't cover games. They're not competitive against almost anybody, bro. I mean, they did almost beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they did just beat the Brooklyn Nets, but I don't know, man. There's no way, even with this big amount of points, with a healthy Miami team, that I want to go back the Charlotte Hornets. I think Miami gets right. I mean, they still have a slight chance to maybe make the play-in tournament. It's very slight, but I mean, they have something to play for. So these are must-win games in many aspects for the Miami Heat. So I take the Miami Heat minus 9.5. But I don't love it, man. Maybe there's a better way to play it, to be honest. Maybe you can do first quarter, first half, team total, something like that. Charlotte Hornets defense has not been good at all. They have one of the weaker defenses over, maybe call it the last few weeks, bottom quartile. Miami Heat, however, you know, on the other side, they have been almost top 10. So I think it's going to show the difference here. They also have a better offense, I think, in my opinion, too. So many aspects, many ways for them to win. I think Miami Heat can cover a bigger spread. And all right, man, let's talk about this next game right here. We got the Toronto Raptors against the Washington Wizards. Toronto laying 6.5 points at home. And I guess it's a little surprising just because, I mean, the Toronto Raptors have not been too stellar, but yes, they've been one of the better home teams. so far this year, especially at the spread. 19-13 at home, but you have to take that with consideration that it's really because they get a lot of points when they're at home. This is a different game, obviously. I mean, the Washington Wizards have not been good at all. Washington Wizards have not been good covering anywhere. 15-18 at home, 12-16 on the road. If that's just some trend, doesn't mean that you go bet just straight off the trend, but something to consider. Washington, I mean, they have a lot of injuries. Then Holmes is still out. Marcus Smart is out. Middleton's out. So they're really going with a very thin team today. On the Toronto side, they still have a lot of guys out as well. Aji's out. Grady Dick is out. Ingram's out. Mongbo Polo's out as well. So they're definitely weak at the center position area where Washington is super weak. We'll see how this game ends up playing out, man. I think Washington, they have one of the worst defenses in the league. Toronto's defense is actually okay, but a little bit better when Quickly is not there. But their offense and pace actually does step up when Quickly is playing. So, and it's a game that you can see a lot of offense, a lot of back and forth, a lot of, pace. So, I mean, I don't mind this game at all. I think it's a good game for props in terms of pace. Let's see. The Washington Wizards are actually top 10 in pace, and the Raptors, I mean, this stat's kind of muddled a little bit because there have been games when Quickly has not played and games where he has played. They're like middle of the pack right now. They used to be very, very slow. Now they've been kind of stepping it back up ever since Quickly has been back. So I actually don't mind an over in this game. I think both offenses can maybe go a little bit off. Even though I will say Toronto's defense is definitely way better. They are top 10 over the last week. Well, Washington is definitely, one of the worst, but they've actually been stepping up a little bit as well. They're number 11, bro. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think we just saw these guys play a few days ago. This was on, I believe, Saturday. So this game, very close, 117, 118, but now they're going to be back in Toronto. I think Toronto actually gets right and gets some revenge back at home, their best spots. Give me the Toronto Raptors at home, minus 6.5. Do I love it? Not really, but I mean, it looks like I'll be rolling with the public on this one. I think Toronto Raptors can get some shots off and, get a bigger win in a revenge spot. But obviously, both teams don't have a lot to play for. They're not in the playoff picture at all. All right, guys. Next game on the board, Atlanta Hawks against the Philadelphia 76ers. And I'll just cut it short, bro. I mean, I've been saying this all year long. There's no way I'm putting any dollar behind the Sixers. I mean, everyone's out. Even if Maxey does come back, which he's slated to play, he is a game-time decision. Even if he does play, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, they've been absolutely garbage. But, hey, Trae Young, he's also a game-time decision as well. So he also might not play. So just be careful, guys. I mean, if he does not play, Maxey plays, I mean, this could change the line a little bit. I probably would just not play this game. This is probably a better game for props, especially betting overs on like points, rebounds, assists. I mean, this will probably be a back and forth game, and both teams play absolutely no defense. So, who covers the spread? I'd say if the Mavs have been how they are, where like Paul George and Embiid, Maxey all sit. I mean, I think Atlanta, even though I've been critical of their lineup, I think they are a better lineup and they can definitely cover a spread like this at home. But yeah, I mean, I'm not very interested in this game. There's so many injuries, guys. So I'd skip it, but if I was forced to pick, I'd pick Atlanta. But I mean, I don't love it though. All right, guys. This is probably the best game on the board in terms of like an entertainment and like, I guess, situational standpoint. The Nuggets back against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They just played yesterday at 1 p.m. So this is going to be interesting, man, because OKC, belt to ass, took them behind the woodshed and smoked them, bro. Up by 14 points. They took them behind the back room, put the beating down on them, and told them, yo, go back home. And now they're back in OKC. There's a doubleheader. They played yesterday in the afternoon. And the question really is, man, the Denver Nuggets get right in this spot. I think they're going to be missing, let me see, they should be missing, they're going to be missing Aaron Gordon, who I think is a big piece to this team, bro, to their success. And, I mean, OKC's pretty healthy. Like I said, I mean, I did on my live, OKC actually plays pretty good against teams that play a very fast pace. But I think, honestly, with them missing Gordon, they're missing size. They're missing presence down low. And it's not usual for me to say this, but OKC, man, they're a physical team. They're not. It looks like Chet Holmgren is not in the lineup. So it looks like he may be out, or maybe he's coming off the bench. But looks like Jalen Williams will be the power forward starting. I don't know if it's because maybe they want to match maybe like a smaller lineup. So they will have Shai, Casey Walls, and Dort playing. But simply put, I mean, everyone's going to be on Denver in a revenge spot, but I just think OKC is the better team, and they're going to do it again, man. I think they're going to win against Denver again. At home, it's been their best spot. Everyone thinks this is the revenge spot for Denver, but man, look, with them missing Gordon, going against, in my opinion, the best team in the West, and I think Shai is the true MVP, but it's arguable for Nikola Jokic. I got Oklahoma City Thunder again, -9. I think they get another comfortable victory, and Jokic is probably going to step it up, but they're going to need a lot more than him to beat this team. OKC, I will say this, their defense has not been the best as of late, but I mean, their offense has been insane, bro. Insane. So, you know, even though their defense has not been number one, their offense has been incredible. So I back OKC again in this spot. OKC, give me the points. All right, next game on the board. Here's another good one, bro. I like this game. Memphis Grizzlies against the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix, no defense. Phoenix are going to be playing the Memphis Grizzlies. And in terms of the injury report, we always got to look at the injury reports. The number one thing you have to look at every fucking time you watch these videos or you look at the NBA. Jaren Jackson is still out, but it looks like Santi Aldama might be playing as a starting power forward. And the Phoenix Suns, they're going to be starting Bobo again, but I don't know if that's going to help with their defense. I mean, still, at the current moment in time, they're still bottom 3 in defense, right behind the Sixers and right above the Hawks. So I don't know. I mean, the Grizzlies, however, they have also not been doing that great defensively. They've had a very strong defense, but they're bottom quartile as well. So this total is super high for this reason. They play a fast pace. Both teams have a decent offense, and they don't play defense. They play a pace, no defense. That's what you want to see for overs. So, I mean, I get this number. This number is pretty reasonable, even though it's very, very high. So you could definitely see in a scenario where it's a back and forth game. In terms of the spread, I mean, I don't love the fact that Memphis has not been covering any of their games, bro. I mean, they have been absolutely terrible at covering. This is not even an adjusted line. They have been, 1-10 in their last 10 games of covering the spread? Yikes. And they're also on a back-to-back. With travel, they just finished a 2-game road stint. Phoenix, they also played last night with travel from Dallas, so it evens out. But, hey, the Suns have actually been doing pretty good covering. 3-0 in their last 3 games. It's not been the case usually, but they've been doing a little bit better, bro. I mean, they have been one of the worst road covering teams, one of the worst covering teams in the NBA. But, hey, now they're getting points, and they're facing a injured Memphis team. So, pretty thin on the Memphis side. So, where do you want to go from here, man? I don't know. It's a tough game. I like props a lot more in this spot. I mean, I think you could obviously attack the centers for the Suns. You could attack the guards with like guys like Ja Morant, obviously. Even, I'd say, Desmond Bane, Jalen Wells. They could definitely get some threes off. On the Phoenix side, you could look at Bradley Beal. It's a decent spot for him as well. But, you know, you never know because, especially on the Phoenix side, you don't know who's going to get the most usage and who will have their day. Like, that's the only problem with betting props on the Phoenix side. It could be Durant one day, Booker, Beal. So, pick your poison. But in terms of what I think covers this game, I still think Memphis' defense is a little bit better. Even though they've been so unreliable, bro. I'll say this, like, it gets me very scared. But Memphis' best spot has been at home, covering at home. They've still been, still one of the better teams covering at home in terms of like their spread record. So far this year, they are 17-14 at home, but they've actually been a little better on the road, 18-12. I don't know. I take Memphis at the spread. Don't love it, but I do think there's some good props in this game for sure. Shout out to my boy Young Yao Ming, Zach Edey. Maybe we go rock with him again, man. But I have to do some further research on the spot, the minutes as well. But he's been a wagon for sure. All right, guys. Stick with me, man. 20 minutes in, and if you've been with me this long, man, put a thumbs up. Hopefully, this has all been helpful. Let me talk about something before I do talk about the next game. I want to talk about a way for you guys to get into premium for free with me, man. I want you guys to get on this new book. It's available in 42 different states. Novig. They offer the best lines in the industry, bar none. I have an example right here. I'll put a link to this in the pinned comment, but it's a peer-to-peer sports betting exchange. So if you bet, let's say, Nuggets spread, you're betting against someone else, and as a result, you're not paying -110 juice. You do something like -107, -105, etc., etc. You get better lines. Getting better lines either makes you more money or it saves you more money because you don't have to lay as much to win a certain amount of money. And if you use my code LOCK, L-O-C-K, you'll get a 50% off your first deposit. So use the link down below or go on Novig, download the app, and then use code LOCK on your first deposit. And you'll get 50% off, extra money to play with, and you'll get the best lines to play on your next bet. So if you like any of the plays I've been speaking about here, you can use it on Novig. Shout out to them, man, because I've been using them for my bets. I used it for the Ankalaev fight. I used it last night in some of the props. So it's been an amazing book so far. And all right, man, I'm going to try to go through the rest of these games very quickly. We have, let's see, 5 more games. Orlando Magic against the Houston Rockets. I will say this, man. These have been the 2 most disappointing teams of the year for me, bro. I mean, Orlando Magic was a money machine for me last year, and so were the Rockets. I mean, the Rockets have still been paying me well. I mean, their props, a lot of their players have been getting me paid. Jalen Green, Sengun, Van Fleet when he's been playing, but he has not been playing. And the thing is, he's a game-time decision today. So if he does play, I think this Rockets team is a lot better than how they've been playing. Even though he's not the most impressive player to most, he is, I think, the veteran, the glue to this team that makes the big difference. On the Orlando side, it looks like they're all healthy, though. Except, obviously, Jalen Suggs out for the season. Franz Wagner's brother, he's out for the season. And Orlando, man, they have been terrible at covering spreads. And, yeah, man, I mean, they got one cover, though, against the Milwaukee Bucks. But Houston, bro, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, they've been playing okay. They've been beating up on bad teams. Would you consider the Magic a bad team? I mean, they have not been getting their shit together. I'll say that much. And I think they've been missing Jalen Suggs on the defense, on the offensive side. So, I mean, Magic, their bread and butter and their Hall of Fame has been their defense, but their defense has not been good, bro. Pretty bad. They're no longer a top 10, top 5 defense. So that's pretty concerning, man. And the thing I'll say too is this really, right? Offensively, right? The Magic's big weakness has been the 3-point shot. And in terms of, how the Rockets do, the Rockets, I mean, they don't shoot a lot of threes, but they attack the rim at a frenetic pace. They get on breaks. They try to so, I mean, they're kind of playing into the hands of the Orlando Magic. And then Houston's defense is pretty good everywhere. And Orlando Magic have not been good at just scoring at all. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I think this will be a lower score game, a slower pace game. I like an under in this game. And I'll be honest, just giving kind of things I said, I don't know, bro. It's in a game where I think it's honestly kind of 50-50. I'll take the Magic in the points, but I don't love it. Houston has played historically very well at home versus on the road. They've had last year a better home covering record than on the road, but not this year, man. 16-15 at home and 13 on the road. And in terms of the Magic have been absolutely terrible on the road. 12-19 on the road covering. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too confident in either team, but I will say I think this will be a lower scoring game. And in that scenario, in a 50-50 type game that I think about, I take the Magic at the spread, man. That's what I would do. All right, man. So in this next game, the Indiana Pacers against the Chicago Bulls. Indiana only laying 4.5 points. That's pretty surprising, but it looks like there might be some injuries here that we have to talk about. So in terms of the injury report, looks like Halliburton and McConnell are still game-time decisions, and then Chicago, Vucevic is a game-time decision, even though he hasn't really been playing at all. Kobe White, he's supposed to play. And other than that, man, I mean, Trey Jones, the starting point guard now for the Bulls. This line is very low. I think Indiana is a much better team, even though I'd say this, Chicago Bulls have actually been playing pretty well. I've been saying it in multiple videos. They've been fairly scrappy. I mean, they just beat Orlando and Miami. They did kind of keep this game kind of close in the beginning, and they did get their butts beat by Indiana, but I don't know why they're such small favorites, though. I think Indiana is a much better team. Maybe it's because of the defense. I mean, so far, Indiana Pacers, their defense have been still like top 15, but Chicago defense has not been that great at all. They're bottom quartile or like bottom tier in the league. Their offense has also been okay so far. I mean, Chicago's offense, again, they've been very scrappy so far, right? I mean, they've had games where they look really good in the beginning, but Chicago's offense is also not that good. I think the line's off. I honestly think Indiana's a much better team overall. I mean, they have a top 5 offense in the last 7 games. Unless they really think Vucevic is coming back, which I don't know. We will see if he comes back or not, but to me, it doesn't really matter. I don't think Vucevic is a game shifter like that. I think this game should be 6.5 to 7 point favorites for the Indiana Pacers. So give me Indiana think the public's with me on this one, bro. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This line's kind of low. I'll have to do further research, but as of right now, as a first look, I think Indiana's where I would lean. All right, man. We have 3 more games left. Dallas Mavericks against the San Antonio Spurs. Look, I'm gonna say this. Dallas is so injured. I mean, I think it's too little point. San Antonio is not good either. Their defense is terrible. I think San Antonio wins and covers this game. Dallas is way too hurt for me to even want to back them. I mean, their lineup is totally trashed right now. So I mean, unless like this might be actually a good game to bet on Dallas player props because these guys will play insane minutes, but they will get tired. I mean, they might get blown out. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really looking to back Dallas here at the spread. Ain't no way, bro. Especially they're on a back-to-back as well. But we'll see who plays. But I don't know if you guys saw that like little meme where like they couldn't even sub someone in because they had everyone injured. There was no one to sub in. And as a result, they've been not covering any game, bro. So yeah, I mean, tough to back them here. I think Spurs, even though they have not been good either, their defense has been terrible. I like the Spurs in this spot. All right, guys. The last 2 games on the board, Portland Trailblazers against the Golden State Warriors, bro. And Portland getting a lot of points on the road. Looks like Avdija, he's a game-time decision. He may not play. He didn't play last night against the Detroit Pistons. They lost to the Pistons by 7 points. Golden State Warriors, Podominski and Kuminga are the only 2 injuries that I do see that could be impacting this game. I don't think Kuminga's coming back, but Podominski might play. So in this game, I mean, Portland's defense is definitely taking a dive. I don't know what's up. I don't know if it's because like Ayton's not playing. That might be the reason, man. I think Ayton was a big piece offensively and defensively to like the Portland Trailblazers' recent or past success over a month ago. The Warriors, man, it's been on a different level. Their defense has been absolutely incredible. Their offense has been incredible. On a back-to-back, Portland has not been that bad, even on the roads. I actually think there's a lot of points, but if history says anything, man, I mean, Portland has not been doing that great recently. I mean, if you look at it on paper, the Warriors are going to be a much, much better team. The last time they guys did play was last year. They blew out the Portland Trailblazers by 36 points. That's insane, but it was a much different Portland team. I mean, Portland has been playing a little bit better, but so have the Warriors. There's a lot of points. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be using like some teaser for the Warriors or betting the Warriors money line. I'm in a parlay minus 650, but it looks like there's some love for the Portland Trailblazers, man. So, I don't know, man. Well, we'll see. I will say this, though. In terms of the defense, right? Like, if you want to attack the Warriors, what part of their defense are they, I guess, quote-unquote, weaker in? I guess it's at the mid-range, right? And if anything, in terms of mid-range shots, Portland is one of the heaviest attackers at the mid-range and at the 3. So, this is actually a good, I think, spot, I guess, matchup-wise for the Portland Trailblazers. Defensively, I mean, Portland is not going to look great against the Warriors. So I don't want to talk too much about that. But I actually think this might be too many points. Even though they got blown out last time by 36 points, it's a different Portland team. And on back-to-backs, they've been okay. Give me Portland plus 12.5. I'll go contrarian on this one right here. And all right, man, last game on the board. We got my New York Knicks, man. My New York Knicks against the Sacramento Kings, who got us paid yesterday, man. So shout out to the Kings, bro. I said it on my live last night. The Kings actually have been one of the best teams in the NBA in terms of net rating, offensively and defensively. I thought last night's game against the Clippers, that line was off. So, I don't know. Even though Sabonis is out, even though Monk is out, they've been playing incredible, guys. And obviously, the biggest thing on this game is Jalen Brunson is not playing for the Knicks. But, you know, the other thing, too, is the biggest change to this game, right? And I don't know, this is the reason why I'm a little bit hesitant to kind of play this game. Take a look at the injury report. Yes, Brunson is out, but Malik Monk, even though he says he's out here, Sabonis might be playing. I don't know. I see him listed, but I think he is out. So he's out. He's supposed to be out for a week, but Malik Monk might be coming in this game. And I'll be honest, him coming back might destroy their flow, bro. Even though they didn't win last night, they covered again. So Knicks have not been covering very well at all. I mean, they've covered in all these games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games they've covered. The Knicks, they have not been covering in any of these games, bro. They are 1-10 in their last 10 games at covering in the spread. So, yikes, bro. I don't like this game at all. I don't know, man. I think it's a good game for props. But if Monk doesn't play, this is pretty crazy for me to say. I kind of like Sacramento, but I think Sacramento's been playing incredible ball, bro. Their defense has been very good. Their offense. Yeah, man. Give me the Kings, bro. Kings have been one of the best teams in the last week. and I'll keep on riding with them. But it's if Monk doesn't play, though. Crazy enough, I want that same team to be playing. And if he does play, I have to reevaluate and see the matchup and everything like that. But Knicks have not been playing good. They don't have their best player. They wear their guys out. I mean, we'll see what happens in this game. But I like the Kings plus 2.5, even on a back-to-back. They're not traveling, though. So give me the Kings plus 2.5. And guys, if you've been enjoying this content, please consider hitting that subscribe button and let me know what you like. I'll see you guys in the next one.